I'm appreciative of everyone. We have so many people that contribute toward making this work. And in this year when we were mostly online, all the people that still made it work. And I thank them, Dan and Matt's learning the live streaming, and we're thankful for that. And all those that are out there in the virtual world, we greet you today too. I hope our daughter Jonna is viewing. She lives in Portland, Oregon. And when I was saying that about children going to college, when she graduated, she went to the University of Tennessee, and we still lived in Tennessee then. And she always wanted to go out to the Northwest. It was her dream, and she wanted to go out there. And I thought, well, yeah, after college, she'll go, she'll stay a while, and she'll come home. Well, that was the year 2000. And she's still in Portland, Oregon. But I think of that fondly. There's so many times I wish she were here and we could see her more often. But I see the good that she's doing. She went ahead and finished and got a master's in psychology and a doctorate. And she's a pretty well-known psychologist there in Portland. And I just still think of her as our little girl. And but she's out there being a gift there. And that's exactly what I'm talking about today, is that wherever you are, whatever gift it is that you can give, do that. Do that. I was reading a story recently that Alan Cohen was talking about when he was young, and he was going to college too, and they were living next door to a woman that was really grouchy, didn't seem to like anybody. There was nothing anyone ever did that she liked, but he remembered the thing that he liked about her best was he remembered the fondness with which she loved animals of every sort. She was a foster mother too. Every sort of animal that anyone brought to her, and she lovingly brought them back to life, turned them over to someone else to have a loving home. She didn't hoard them, because that gets into a different kind of love, I think, when we start doing that. But she loved them and brought them back to life. And he mentioned that several times, how she may not have liked humans, but she loved animals. She had a tremendous gift for that. And I think that as we grow in our own spirituality and we grow to be better humans ourselves and to see things from that light that I described earlier, when we see from a higher place. Does everybody know what I'm talking about when I say that? When you're able to float above this mundane and ordinary, and you see all the frustrations and the anger and the impatience and everything else going on, and when you get to a place spiritually where you can look above that, and you can see the soul of that person and the struggles that they're going through here on this earth, you can honor that. And you can see them in the light and the love of God and the true mother. I love being the mother here. I just love that. Someone said that I am the mother of Unity of Gulfport, and I love that. I love being the mother here. I think that's perfect and astonishing and touches my heart in a special way. I'm a mother to those in my own family, of course. I'm a mother to my husband. He won't, well, of course he does admit it. He even calls me Mom. And I look for things for him. I just treat him as I would one of the children. And don't I, Dan? Oh, I saw a wave up there. He's up there helping me now. All the ways that he has helped me, he took an angel that we got at a yard sale, I don't know, probably 35 years ago or so. And it holds up has one arm that's holding up a little bowl to put a flower in or an essence of oil, whatever. And that breaks whenever we move. And so I was looking at it recently and I said, maybe it's time for me to retire this, Dan. I don't know, I've moved it too many times. Well, lo and behold, the next thing I know, he's taken it to his shop and he's filled it with something and made it perfect again. And so, see, there's his gift. He's often said he's not a musician, can't play a violin, but he can sure tune a carburetor. That's his unique gift too, and I appreciate him. He can and will do anything, quite capable, and I thank him for spending his life with me. Him and our son-in-law, Al, Sherry's husband, and Shelby's dad, and he's a son to me. I couldn't love a son any more than I love Al. What a great teacher he is, and a band leader, and the high school, and how grateful I am for him, and my grandson, Andy, and Jonna. Even if she is out in Portland, Oregon, I guilt her over that every once in a while. Said to her yesterday, well, when are we actually going to see you, though? It's nice talking to you. But then she reminds me the road goes both ways, doesn't it? It certainly does. So this mother's prayer that I gave this morning, I said it with love and gentleness because I do recognize we all didn't have a great mother, did we? I did, but not everyone did. But if we can remember, there is one thing each and every one of us do have in common in this room this morning, and you can think of this with love. Someone carried you for close to 9 months in her body, and you felt her heartbeat, and she felt yours. And with every breath she took, she was giving you nourishment and love and caring. So do remember that, whether you lost a mother when you were young, whether your mother was troubled and didn't have the capacity for love. Remember that feeling of being embraced. And if you need to, love that child yourself. Hold that child gently in your own loving lap. So this morning, I'm certainly not talking just about mothers, but gifts that we have, gifts that keep on giving. As Jesus said, it is in giving that we receive. And if you want love, give love. If you're looking for motherly love, remember that. Let us evolve from being love seekers to love expressors. Find every way you can. If you'd like to have love in your life, find every way you can to express love. And I guarantee love will come your way. Guaranteed. We are part of a magnificent whole. There's a story told of a farmer whose corn each year earned the winning prize at the state fair. One year, a reporter interviewed him and learned something interesting about how he grew his corn. The farmer told the reporter that he shared his prize-winning seed corn with his neighbors. That's what he did. Why? Well, the wind picks up the pollen from the ripening corn and swirls it from field to field. If the neighbors grow inferior corn, cross-pollination will steadily degrade the quality of my corn, he said. If I'm to grow good corn, I must help my neighbors grow good corn. And the same is true for the way we live our lives. If we wish to live in peace and harmony, we must help our neighbors do the same. We are connected to a magnificent whole. Now, that does not mean the world rests on our shoulders. I remember when I was in a program at St. Mary of the Woods College in Earth Consciousness Studies, and I remember the director there said to the others in the class that one of the hardest things to do when we pick up this work of making the world a better place is that we want to take on too much. We want to take on everybody's problems. We can't seem to set some of them down. We think we must do it all. But what we must remember is that we do what we can with the gifts we were given, and we be pleased with that. We be satisfied with that. And it's not always easy, is it? Especially when we watch the news. It's not easy. But it's what we must live to do. So ancient and modern day prophets alike have spoken about this concept of unconditional love for others, loving our neighbors as ourselves. St. Francis prayed, "Where there is hatred, let me sow love." And in his book, Strengthened to Love, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spelled out a formula for loving your enemies. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. If we choose to be happy, we must help others find happiness. If we desire to be loved, we must spread that love around. Dr. Larry Dawsey is known to most of us in the healing professions. He's a medical doctor, but he also recognized early in his career, or before his career, the importance of compassion and empathy in the healing profession. And here's one thing I can say to you from experience and just from intuition. If you do have a doctor that you go to that has no compassion or empathy, doesn't seem to see you as a person, only as a patient whom they need to get away from just as quickly as possible, find another doctor. We respect their skill, but they need to learn empathy. One thing I've noticed is that I see a rheumatologist in Slidell, and I have observed over the last 5 years or so how the entire office has changed. And it made me know they were always kind, but it made me know they are getting some training in empathy and compassion. They were turning the whole thing around, and they started spending a lot more time with each patient instead of just, they were really inquiring. How are you? How are things going in your life? And it made me feel so differently about going there. And I think you probably are noticing that in the healing profession, they're finding they cannot separate their medical skills from their skills of compassion when it comes to healing. They must offer both. But back to Dr. Larry Dawsey, he said that the most profound healing event that he personally remembers occurred as he was recovering from anesthesia following an appendectomy. He said this surgery was a rushed-up affair at the Student Health Center at the University of Texas at Austin when he was a senior preparing to enter medical school. He said he never met the surgeon beforehand. The surgeon thought it was unnecessary. Neither did he meet the anesthesiologist in advance. He was also too busy. He said, when I awakened, I was anxious, alone. I was in pain. I still did not know who my surgeon was or what he had found at surgery. He said, but a nurse appeared at my bedside. She simply held my hand and said softly, don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. She stayed there with him and held his hand until he calmed down. He said her kind words and her lingering touch conveyed to him powerfully that everything was going to be okay. And it was. His pain vanished, along with the anxiety and the sense of isolation that he had there in that sterile environment, all alone. He said that simple act of compassion is seared into his memory as a profound example of a gift of love and caring, how we can reach out to others with love. And there have been many researchers that have gone on to prove that not only medical healing, that there's been much research that's gone into even having someone pray for you and to tell you that they're praying for you can help you heal. We have many here in our own congregation, this congregation right here that I love, that have the gift of healing touch, Reiki healing, music to heal. There's healing between each note that you play. As a matter of fact, they have found that music can help you heal. It's part of the natural rhythm and harmony of this earth and the beauty and the healing. If you haven't been to Unity much, maybe you know a little bit about what we teach here, and that is that there is one power and one presence, and it doesn't matter what you name that. It really doesn't matter. Many of us, we go ahead and call that power God, although we're certainly not referring to the God we learned about in our childhood. For many of us, the God that we learned about was an unforgiving, judgmental God. That's not the God we're talking about here in Unity, and that's not who Jesus taught about either. Jesus taught that he had come to be the hand and the expression of the one love, the one God. And that's what we teach here. There's one power and one presence, and we are connected to that. All we need to do is to want it. God, I want to be close to you. All we need to do is ask for it. And it's in our quiet time, our quiet moments, that we can become centered through prayer and connection, meditation with God. We keep our words positive and our thoughts, and we walk the talk. How important is that? How important is it to you that you have someone in your life that when they say something to you, you can count on it? They used to have the expression, you can take that to the bank. That's what I want my words to be. If I say I'm going to do something, I want you to be able to count on it. As one fellow used to say, this was early in the years of answering machines, and I think he was a sales or marketing person. I can't remember what it was he sold, but he said, if you're getting this recording and I don't call you back, I'm either in the hospital or I'm dead, because I'm going to get back to you. You can count on that. We've become a society of not being very gifted at that, have we? Some will say, oh yeah, I'll call you this afternoon. You haven't heard from them in a week. With the service industry especially, we see that. I would just encourage people, as our fifth principle here, walk the talk. Do that. Whatever it is you choose to do, there's so many things we can do to mother others. Smile, listen, encourage, offer hope as the nurse did. It'll be okay. Offer hope. Extend compassion and empathy. Offer comforting words, gentle touch. Visit, call, send a card or a book. This is important too. Is there someone in your life right now today that you need to extend a little grace toward? Little understanding, little forgiveness. Where may I offer grace? That's a gift too. That's another form of love. Feed, volunteer, donate to a food bank. Care for critters, adopt some, foster some. Foster an abandoned child. If you want to experience love, find a way to do that. There are a lot of children out there that need a loving home. As a matter of fact, the house that we're living in, we bought from a couple about our ages, early 70s, which, I don't know, sounds younger all the time to me. Especially when I tell my grandchildren I'm going to live to be 108 and they're going to take care of me. No, they know the opposite's true. I'll still be trying to take care of them. But I loved it because they had a couple of teenagers that they had adopted when they were just like 2 and 3 years old. And they're teenagers now. Beautiful, beautiful young men. Oh my goodness. I was just so thrilled when I met them and heard the story. And I just loved it. They adopted these boys, gave them a home, gave them love, caring, compassion. Hold your highest intentions for others. Send love and prayers. Just affirm, I am a living, loving expression of God. Right here, right now. We give thanks for all the people who nurture, for the teachers, the caregivers, the doctors, the healers, for the friends who answer the phone in the middle of the night, who visit us in the hospital, bring food when we're sick, for the people in this congregation who hug us and hold us when we're sad, who send kind, inspiring notes when we're struggling, who laugh and pray with us when we're happy, and continually gather to express our love for each other. This last year's been a challenge. We went from having this room full to even wondering how in the world are we going to add on to all of a sudden one Sunday it's empty. We couldn't meet. It's been an experience, and it's been an experience in love. We've learned how to love each other from afar, and on Zoom, and on Facebook, and every other way we could, and with elbow touches, and all those ways that we could show compassion, love, empathy. So I thank you, each and every one of you, for being here this morning. You're in my heart. Thank you for allowing me to love you as only a mother can. Thank you for your time.